Texas Tech men's basketball has officially cracked the AP Top 25 poll for the first time in the Grant McCasland era. Whether the Red Raiders rank in their inaugural appearance in 2023 in the 2024 season in the poll. Plus, we'll look forward to the next 4 games as all 4 of them are against top 25 opponents. Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's RC Maxfield here for the Back to 12 podcast. If you haven't already, be sure to like the video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on that notification bell. We're giving you live, instant reaction to everything Texas Tech men's basketball all year long, whether it's happening on the hardwood or off of it in terms of recruiting. We've got you covered right here on the most engaging and fastest growing Texas Tech community on YouTube in the Back to 12 podcast channel. And speaking of engaging, I want to hear from you guys. Answer this question down on the pinned comment below. Will Texas Tech men's basketball make the NCAA tournament? Just a simple Y for yes or in for no. And before y'all come at me like, RC, of course they will. What are you talking about? This is a ridiculous question. Well, a top 25 team in the Texas Longhorns this past week look like they're not going to make the tournament as it stands right now anyway. So that's why I'm asking the question, because Texas Tech is now in the top 25. You'll know where here in just a second. But let me know down in the pinned comment below if you think the Red Raiders will make the NCAA tournament with just a simple Y for yes or in for no. You see it at the bottom of your screen right there. The Red Raiders, they're ranked in the top 25 AP poll for the first time in the Grant McCasland era. They come in at number 25, just narrowly making it do the Red Raiders. But Texas Tech is one of eight teams in the Big 12 that are in the AP Top 25. You see it at the bottom of your screen. I'll read them in order. Number 3, Kansas. Number 5, Houston. Number 9, Baylor. Number 15, Oklahoma. Number 9, TCU. Number 20, BYU. And number 24, Iowa State are ahead of the Red Raiders, who come in at number 25 in the AP poll. And before anybody gets mad in this video and in the comments saying, RC, why are you talking about the AP poll? It doesn't really matter. Let us know about, Ken Palm, the net rankings, which I will do here in just a second. But I think the top 25 is a good indication of how your team is perceived. Now, does it matter to the committee? No, not really. But in the grand scheme of things, it is a really good indication of how good your team is perceived around the country, which does affect how the committee views it in the sense of, okay, if they're on TV more, they're being discussed more. Hey, we need to look into that in terms of what their resume is. And then when they look at Texas Tech's resume, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, they deserve an 8 seed or they deserve a 10 seed, whatever it is. I think it's a really good indicator of the perception of your program, and that's why I'm talking about it. In the next 4 games, you're going to learn a lot about the Red Raiders because you have number 5 Kansas. You are at number 5 Kansas. You have BYU at home. You're at number 15 Oklahoma, and then you go on the road to number 19 TCU. I mean, my goodness, that is a wow. This conference is just absolutely insane. I had to take a second there just because that is a loaded 4 games right there for Texas Tech. And you think about it, 3 of them are on the road. If you just split that, I think you probably feel happy if you're a Texas Tech fan. But that is much easier said than done when it comes down to it, especially in the best conference in America. One more time, if you haven't already, be sure to smash the subscribe and like the video to stay in the know on Texas Tech men's basketball. All year long, we're keeping you up to date on everything Texas Tech men's basketball, whether it's on the hardwood, recruiting, and so much more. So stay in the know right here on the most engaging Texas Tech community on YouTube in the Back to 12 podcast channel. All right, let's look at the Texas Tech men's bracketology outlook as it stands right now. And yes, I know it is early as hell. Don't come at me. I think it's a good perception thing in terms of how are you being viewed, though. CBS has Texas Tech as the first 4 in. ESPN has the last 4 buys for the Red Raiders. Bracketville, interesting one. You should go check it out. It's a really good site for bracketology. They have the Red Raiders as the first 4 in. Now, On3 is the only site that I saw right now that does bracketology that has Texas Tech firmly in. I mean, just firmly as an A seed out west. And oh, by the way, that matchup that they projected right there would be against a familiar face, as they have the 9 seed in the West region being the Ole Miss Rebels in Chris Beard's squad. The current key metrics as it stands right now at the time of this recording, it is Monday, January 15th, 2024. Happy MLK Day to all of you out there. The current key metrics have Ken Pom for Texas Tech is 30th. Then you have the net rankings at 37th. Those are the two that I really look at. You can go to Haslametrics. Haslametrics has Texas Tech in a similar range as the net, but those are the ones that I'm really, really looking at. Now, there are going to be a ton of options for Texas Tech to actually make the tournament in terms of what is on their schedule. Why, you may ask? Well, Texas Tech has, one of the hardest schedules remaining in the country, not just the Big 12, the country. The remaining strength of schedule for the Red Raiders is 8th. You see it at the bottom of your screen right there. According to ESPN College Basketball Power Index, take for that what you want, all 14 Big 12 conference teams are among the top 16 remaining in strength of schedule left. This from Fran Fraschilla. Basically, every night in the Big 12 is an NCAA tournament game. I mean, that's nuts. That's absolutely nuts. So Texas Tech is going to have plenty of opportunities. Again, I'll put the next 4 games on the bottom of your screen. You play at Houston on Wednesday night on ESPNU. Then you play at home against number 20 BYU. If you split those, I think you feel good. And then you feel good if you split the next week where you go on the road and you face 2 top 20 teams, one in Norman and one in Fort Worth. Now, obviously, we know what Texas Tech and Red Raider Nation can do when it comes to going to Fort Worth and really kind of taking over their arena. But still, TCU is a really good team. Oklahoma, really good team. TCU just had a week last week where they beat 2 top 10 teams in the Houston Cougars and the Oklahoma Sooners. I mean, every night in the Big 12 is just ridiculous. But as I've said in other videos, and I really probably need to drive this home in terms of this video right now, Grant McCasland and the Texas Tech Red Raiders will compete every night in the Big 12. It's just what they're going to do. Perfect example is Kansas State, where they went 5 for 25 from 3, a team that is predicated and built right now offensively around shooting the 3. The process was 100% right. Grant McCasland talked about it in his post-game presser that Pop Isaacs missed a couple of wide-open shots. Chance McMillan missed a couple of wide-open shots. So did Kerwin Walton, others as well, right? He loved the process that Texas Tech had in that K-State game. They shot 5 of 25 from 3, shot 20% as a team, and they still won. Texas Tech is going to compete no matter where they're playing, no matter who they're playing in the Big 12. But these next 4 games, as I mentioned, at number 5 Houston and against number 20 BYU, specifically the week of January 15th. Whew! That's a hell of a slate right there. And then not to mention the week after that, you think, maybe things get a little easier. Nah, you got to go on the road twice and face 2 top 20 teams as it stands right now in the Oklahoma Sooners and the TCU Horned Frogs. Just the Big 12 each and every year is the best men's basketball conference in America. And this year, it may be at its absolute peak of what we've seen so far. Because the crazy part is this. Ken Pom has the Red Raiders, as it's projected right now, in a 3-way tie for 3rd in the Big 12. You want to hear how good the Big 12 is? And Ken Pom, one of the most highly respected metrics in all of college basketball, if not the most respected, has the current number 3 team in the country, the Kansas Jayhawks, projected to finish 6th in the Big 12. This conference each and every night is an NCAA tournament game, so Texas Tech will have a great chance at solidifying its resume. And I think when it's all said and done, I mean, it's obviously early. You've played 3 kind of the middle pack teams, except for Oklahoma State, which is clearly near the bottom in the Big 12, and you dominated the Cowboys. But Texas Tech is going to have a very, very good chance to make the NCAA tournament in year number 1 of Grant McCasland. So I want to hear from you guys one more time before we head out of here. Let me know down in the pinned comment below. Just simple Y for yes or N for no. Will Texas Tech men's basketball make the NCAA tournament? I'm RC Maxfield, reminding you one more time to like the video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on that notification bell to stay in the know on Texas Tech men's basketball all year long right here on the most engaging and the biggest Texas Tech community on YouTube right here in the Back to 12 podcast channel.